Alright guys, Beef here. Welcome back, and today I'm gonna show you how to use the VirtualBox. I've been using emulation ever since my school days, mostly to play console games on my PC. When I got into teaching, I find it very demanding and time-consuming to teach software installation with physical hardware. When I learned that I can emulate, or rather virtualize, a computer's operating system, it just made life much easier. Emulation and virtualization is very much similar and different at the same time. In emulation, a particular hardware is being imitated by another system using software. Virtualization, on the other hand, is creating a virtual instance of a particular hardware using software. Well, the end game here is to run a software that particular emulated or virtualized system is intended for. If this is getting too much to consume, just visit the links below for the references, since I want this video to be as simple as possible. Now back to the topic. I'm using it ever since to teach my students, to test what an OS has to offer, to test some dubious software if I downloaded it from a dubious website. And also, as a programmer, I also use this in server configuration, since I think this is more reliable and secure than not having one. Today, I'm gonna show you how to use VMBox and install another operating system, install another Windows on top of our Windows computer. Let's do this! Google for VirtualBox or directly go to virtualbox.org. Unlike other popular virtualization products, VirtualBox is a feature-rich, high-performance, and most importantly, open source. It's totally free. It is also owned by a dedicated and trusted company, Oracle. Click the download button to download the latest version. Download the operating system which serves as your host. For me, it's Windows, since I'll be using a Windows host. I also recommend you download the extension pack. It provides extended functionality for the VirtualBox. First, install the main VirtualBox software. The steps are self-explanatory. I'll just comment on some things here and there. Next, install the extension pack if you downloaded it. We're all set. Now let's create a new virtual machine. Here, you need to name your virtual machine, its storage, and what type of version of operating system you'll be using. Just take note on the path for machine folder. This is the path where the physical virtual machine files are stored in your host computer. VirtualBox supports a bunch of operating systems and their versions. Here, I'll choose my current laptop's OS, which is Windows 10. Click Next when you're done. Here, you need to set the memory allocation for the virtual machine. Take note that it will be taken from your main RAM. Since I got 32 gigs of RAM, I'll allocate around 8 gigs for the VM. Click Next if done. Here, you'll be asked to create a virtual hard disk, use an existing one, or not to add one at all. I'll choose Create. Here, you can set where the virtual hard disk is stored in your host computer and its size. The default is 50 gigs. I have so much space here, so I set it around 200 gigs. We have successfully created a new virtual machine setup. You can adjust most of the settings we previously made before. Just take note that this is still a blank VM without any operating system. If you access the path where your VM is stored, you'll see 3 files. A VBox file which has information about your virtual machine, a VBox pref file which is a backup of your virtual machine state, and a VDI file which is your virtual hard disk. On the next section, I'll show you how to legally download and install an OS, specifically Windows 10. To get Windows software to as many computers as possible, Microsoft embraced the idea of giving it for free. It's not totally free like an open source free, as you still need to have a license to activate it. You can still use it like most of us would normally use it. The only difference is that some important updates from Microsoft may be blocked, and some features like changing the wallpaper may be disabled. The Windows Not Activated watermark on the bottom right screen may also appear eventually. Other than those things, everything I think will be functional. Google search for Windows 10 download. Click the one with the Microsoft.com domain, or just visit the link below. Download the Microsoft Media Creation Tool. Select Create Installation Media. Here, the wizard already selected the recommended options for my system. Just uncheck it if you want to modify it. Here, select ISO file, then save. The process takes around 10 minutes or so. It depends on your computer or internet speed. Currently, Microsoft only officially allows free access to some versions of Windows for download. And if you wish to install an old version of Windows like XP or below, you may dump your own physical copy or physical disk if you have one. You can borrow it from a friend or pirate it, which I'm not covering in this video for obvious reasons. Now that we have a virtual machine and an official Windows installation ISO, let's continue. Click the Start button to begin. Then, browse for the startup disk. You can now add and choose the previously created Windows ISO. Click Start to begin the installation process. Installing Windows is kinda self-explanatory. Just follow the instructions on the screen. Here, you'll be asked to input your product key. If you don't have one, just click the I don't have a product key button to proceed. Select the version of Windows 10 you want. I choose 64-bit Windows 10 Pro. Accept the terms to proceed. Click Custom Install. At this point, we create a partition and format our hard disk. You can create multiple partitions, but in this example, I just create it as one partition. Then, click Next to start Windows installation. The process will take around 10 to 40 minutes, depending on your host computer speed. The installation of Windows 10 21H1 is successful. If you look around the hardware details, you will see that the virtual machine is actually sharing the host's hardware resources. Your virtual machine's performance will depend on your host's capabilities. And that's how I test new software before installing it to an actual unit. Cloning is the process of, cloning a system. This is the most practical way if you want to install multiple setups of the same system. For example, like in a computer lab or internet cafes, where you install the same set of programs on multiple units. Here, the cloning process is made even easier, but it's basically for testing and backup purposes. Let's check it out. On the VM VirtualBox Manager, right-click on your virtual machine and click Clone. Just follow the instructions on the screen. I usually choose Full Clone. Cloning is very convenient, especially when testing a known software. If your virtual machine gets screwed up by an incorrect setting, a virus or malware, you can just go back to the clone, provided it is a full clone. Virtualization is a resource hog. Don't forget to check the host task manager if your host computer is getting slow to respond. Here, I have two VMs running, one Windows 10 Pro and Ubuntu Linux. Take note on the host's task manager. I think the only limitation of virtualization is the limitation of the host system itself. Just tweak the VM settings if you think the host computer is running very slow. There is also a hidden setting in modern computers nowadays, since most, if not all, have virtualization enhancements built in the system. This can greatly enhance your system's VMs. You can access this through BIOS or UEFI settings on startup. These differ from system to system and mine looks like this. What do you think about this video? Have you tried virtualization to test a software or you just install it directly to your computer? Leave a like if this video helped you and subscribe and hit the bell for future videos like this one. Thank you very much for watching and thank you,
Maki-chan! for this wonderful t-shirt.
Tensai desu. Stay safe and jobless.